Today's Wednesday, January 18th, 2017, and you're tuned into the Elevator Radio Show. The Elevator Radio Show is a proud supporter of the Elevator Escalator Safety Foundation. To find out how you can make a difference, visit their website today at www.eesf.org. Hey, we got a short show for you today. Stay tuned. Here it comes.
You're tuned in to the Elevator Radio Show, a weekly program dedicated to covering news and information on elevators, escalators, and moving walkways. Produced in the wee hours of the morning, a new show is uploaded every Wednesday, sometimes even before you get out of bed. Listen to some of the comments sent in from our audience.
Rob from New York writes, Tom, are you f***ing insane? You actually get up at 2 a.m. each Wednesday to put this show out? Man, you must love elevators. Tim from Illinois writes, I'm not sure why I listened, but ever since I tuned into the first show back in 2007, I've been addicted. Matt in Texas writes, I like your safety messages, Tom. It's important to remember them each and every day. And he also adds,
when am I going to win the monthly prize pack giveaway?
Ron from California sent this in. Despite your inability to pronounce words in the English language, I tune in each week and am glad that you offer this service to the industry. It's better than Google News alerts. Sarah from Washington writes, love the show, Tom, and look forward to it each week. I'm glad I signed up for the newsletter. You provide a valuable resource for the industry, not only for North America, but worldwide.
Enjoy the show. And now, here's your sleep-deprived host, Tom Sybert.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. That was good, wasn't it? I'm stalling for time here because I can't log into my account. Yeah, ever had one of those days where like, wait, isn't that my password? And then it's not. And then there you are. Yay, it worked. Hey, everybody, it's good to be here this Wednesday morning where we are at it again. We do have a shorter show today. Not as much news content on the program, which always a good thing to see. Unfortunately, it did involve, I think there was one accident, which seems just to happen. Nature of the beast. And as many people as we move each day across the continental United States and across the world vertically, whether they be escalators, whether they be elevators or moving walks, we move a lot of people when you think about it. A lot. I don't know how many. I know there's a stat on that. I'll see if I can find that because I do have numbers on that. But anyway, so pat yourself on the back for the hard work that you do each and every day. Obviously, our goal is to minimize any kind of accidents from occurring, and ensuring that not only is the general riding public safe, but those that work on the equipment and those that inspect it, those that consult on it are all safe as well. So, hey, I'm tired. I don't know about you guys out there, but I am just tired. It's just been a busy couple of weeks starting off the new year, and not to say it's been crazy busy with work work for me, yes, but not necessarily work for, how should I say this? It's been busy. I'm just going to put it at that. Special projects going on, and which I enjoy. I just wish they were a little bit easier and didn't require so much, attention. But that's the nature of the beast to some extent. So hopefully you're kicking off 2017 well, and everything's going okay for you. So crazy weather that's been strifing, I guess I should say, across the United States. Had some major rainstorms hit Chicago the last 2 days. Just lots of rain. I mean, where temperatures were above 32, usually about 36 or 43, somewhere around there, and just was pouring. I mean, it was torrential. Got a chance to wash all the salt off the road and off the cars as well, which is good. So I envision it's going to be, we're going to have a slight warm up, but then we're going to see some more snow and some more rain. And all we can do is think spring for those of us who are not snow people. And for those of you that are snow people, think snow, and we'll go from there. So anyway, it's kind of a nice fluctuation. There have been winters where literally it has been like the same temperature for the whole season. Gray, dreary. It's kind of nice to have a little break in the action. So anyway, we're getting into the news next and have you out of here in no time. Just as a reminder, get over to the Facebook page where we have our the show notes. We have the audio link. We have got the video link all that stuff online, which I encourage you to check out. So up next, we'll get into the news, and we'll have you out of here in no time.
Let this week's news stories give you a lift on what's happening in the vertical transportation arena. Each news segment is organically dug and fresh with news stories of the week. Got lift? If not, stay tuned.
Alrighty, I hope you like this, the image I chose for the blog post today. It's basically a sign from, and I don't know if this was, somebody photoshopped it or what, but it was a out-of-service escalator barricade and from the Bay Area Rapid Transit in San Francisco, and it says this unit will be out of service until, and there's like an open box where you're supposed to write in there, and somebody wrote the Rapture. So I have a feeling it's not like you see people every day with with markers walking around in their pockets to do this kind of thing, but got to cut everybody a little bit of slack on that. We'll get into that in a little bit in terms of the articles that were linked up and relating to this image in the show later on. But first, news story of the week. Eyewitness News ABC has reported that apparently an 82-year-old veteran from Queens has been forced to stay in a hotel for more than a month because of a broken elevator in his building. And it is not right, unfortunately. We've got another article later on the program that shows what unfortunately is required to make landlords invest in elevators and ensure that they're working for tenants that definitely require accessibility. It's a serious issue, especially when some of the funding is received from either Section 8 or other types of low-income housing where the government is subsidizing it. So, which is really important. So, I will we'll get a little bit into that later on in the program. So. Let's see here. Next news article, planned MTA elevator will cause car wrecks, panel says. How many of you out there get the opportunity to watch your local, your local government in action where there's some building going up? And I swear to you, where I live, I've never seen so much friction over the building, the rezoning of areas that you would think would be a good thing in terms of like tax revenue for the area for properties and buildings that have gone dormant or whatever. And I can't tell you, when I watch it, I get crazy because you see a million people get up, not a million, but a lot of people, a lot of residents in the area, they get up. It's the only time they go to the city council meeting, and they'll complain about they're worried about traffic, blah, blah, blah. And at the end of the day, it really doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a difference. I mean, they envision it being so bad that they can't get into their neighborhood or in their street or whatever. And it's really unfortunate because I don't understand. There's literally not a whole lot that I see during these council public meetings where the public actually says something that's valid. And you just got people just hammering the same thing over and over and over again. And I mean, it's great we have the opportunity to share our our opinions and ask questions and whatnot. But here's another one. Brooklyn Paper reporting, planned MTA elevator will cause car wrecks, panel says. All right, well, where does that come from? I mean, they're talking about a bump out where the elevator goes up and down, and that's going to cause car accidents because it's going to minimize the size of the street. So I guess what's the option there? Well, what's the alternative? Or, anyway, and the other thing that they talk about as well with some of these, these issues, they'll do traffic quote studies. And whoever's doing that traffic study is making like $10,000, $15,000 to do that. It's just money for them. I mean, it's got to be something like that, right? Yeah, crazy. So, yeah, consultants make out. And then at the end of the day, you get the people complaining like, well, they didn't do it during the peak time or the whatever, or not during the Christmas season or what. It's just crazy. So you're always going to have somebody that's against whatever's being proposed. And in some cases, it's for good reason. Other cases, it's not. But at the end of the day, it's important that we both everybody sees the benefits of each position instead of just digging your heels in and just going, hey, this is terrible. Not going to see it from anybody's point of view and go from there. So anyway, next news article, BART offers explanation for ongoing escalator issue. Now watch this video, this Channel 7 news from San Francisco. I can't really play on it, but it's very difficult for me to understand how they could have done a news report like this and had a reporter on the side sharing the video and sharing what people had proposed through Twitter, in terms of ideas on how to make them better. I don't even know, but it just seems silly. I can't. It's hard to believe that they throw this out there. I mean, one of the ideas that they threw out there from Twitter was that they should put people walking on the left and standing on the right. Another one was reverse directions, so that walking on the left or standing on the right wouldn't wear them out. But the reality is transit elevators and escalators get a lot of demand. I mean, they are definitely one of the highest. I don't want to say abused, but highest used and maybe abused is in terms of moving people every day, and they're going to wear out quicker and require maintenance and repair. So link is in the show notes. You want to check that out. But I just thought, watch the video. It seems stupid. I can't believe they got 2 Twitter responses on what the viewers think should happen. And at the end of the day, just enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride on the escalator. Don't feel like you got to walk up and down or whatever. That's my key. Woman injures foot in subway. New York Daily News in Midtown reporting. Woman got caught on an escalator, took a tumble down the stairs at the 34th Street Herald Station. Scary. Apparently her she injured her foot while walking on an escalator between the platform and the mezzanine. She fell near the southbound F train. Oh, you know what? Maybe she didn't get hurt. Oh yeah, in subway escalator. Okay, individual injured her foot while walking on an escalator between the platform and the mezzanine. Okay, so she was walking on the escalator, which is scary. An emergency stop button at the bottom of the escalator was pushed. MTA spokeswoman Amanda Kwan said the escalator has been taken out of service and is expected to be running Thursday. And unfortunately, you've got some probably attorney that is chasing this woman to throw some lawsuit out there. But she's going to be okay. And just as a reminder, be careful on escalators. I rode when I was downtown McCormick Place in Chicago on Saturday at my son's volleyball tournament. Had a great time. It's amazing how many freight elevators are there, how many escalators. It was some really long ones too. So it was fun for me to be down there checking all that stuff out. Even though I wasn't riding any freight elevators, I was looking at them from the outside and enjoying some volleyball. So anyway, okay, next news article, something you're probably never going to see in the United States, I don't envision, unless somehow it gets approved by code authorities and states, but I do not think you'll see this here at all. Apparently, the world's first composite elevator showcased in Singapore. It's a joint venture between SLC, Far East Organization. No, I'm sorry, a joint venture between Far East Organization, Wo Hoop Limited. They aim to build a new industry in composite elevator engineering. Looks pretty slick. Reality is that they've taken some steps to lighten, I guess, the elevator system so it doesn't require all the typical reinforcement. I hope we don't ever see anything like this in the United States in terms of, less is more. The less is more concept, to me, is not one that I think is going to work unless you've got a canned, shaft hoistway kind of deal. So anyway, you can read about that. Link is in the show notes. Plus, I don't think it's going to meet any kind of fire flammability rating, depending on the composite material that's actually being used. But typically, even carbon fiber and what else? Depends on how carbon fiber is fabricated, obviously, in terms of flammability. But composites and plastics that's not something you want to be in if there's any kind of electrical fire or whatnot. So anyway, but still kind of cool. Okay, how fast should an elevator go? Last week we talked about the Wall Street Journal article that was talking about China. Oh, and actually there's 2 articles that talked about. One was the how fast elevators should go. The other one was on escalator use in China and how China is rescinding their walk left, stand right position on escalator usage. But it was cool because I did the show and I literally had a whole bunch of people bringing me clipped articles from Wall Street Journal and others relating to both those articles. So here's a blogger writing how fast should an elevator really go? If it was up to me, I'd have that thing cranking like a with a V8 engine in it. You know, I mean, wouldn't it be cool to be able to drive an elevator like you're driving a car to the point where it's like a car? It doesn't stop for anything. I mean, I don't mean not anything. I'm talking about where you could drive it. You could drive it. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So, but some of the points talking about World Trade Center number 1 in Manhattan runs around 23 miles per hour, and just kind of puts in perspective when what you're thinking about. You know, is that fast? Is it slow? And it's, you know, reality is that rider comfort is huge. It's a big factor when designing elevator systems and making sure people are comfortable and, you know, don't have to deal with you know, pressurization in some cases. And so the point of this whole thing is that I'm all for driving an elevator as fast as you possibly can. I think that'd be great. And I guess the stick shift deal I'm talking about is probably closer to a car switch type operation. So anyway, 23 miles an hour is pretty fast. Try riding that on your bicycle and you'll see it's pretty fast. So anyway, okay, mixed reality presents opportunities. We did talk about this when this article was launched, but this one coming from Grand Rapids businessjournal.com has an article, Mixed Reality Presents Opportunities for Manufacturers. Technology allows digital objects to be viewed in a physical environment. I think this is great. I wonder whether or not there'll be more advancements when it comes to training people in our industry for stuff above and beyond what has already been happening with who picked this up? I think it's ThyssenKrupp picked this up and ran with it. Pretty sure that's who it is, but I apologize if I've just misquoted that. I think it's cool. You know, at work here, we're just starting to get into 3D printing for some of our older parts and patterns, which I think it's cool stuff. It still has a long way to go. It's never going to replace people, but it's still really cool stuff. So neat to see technology touching our industry and being pushed out there by many manufacturers in larger corporations in the industry. So pretty neat. Here's a great story where too often you'll see people turning the other way when somebody is in need, but apparently in China, and this is a nice positive story from China, man swings into action after Shandong escalator mishap. And there's a video that shows this man jumping over a counter after he witnessed an elderly woman who had fallen on an escalator to go and help her. And I think that's awesome. And it's security footage, so it wasn't like it was staged or anything. He just did what he was going to do. And the lesson of this story is, you know, do the right thing. Do the right thing. Do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. That seems too simple, right? Yeah, maybe a little bit too simple, but the reality is that just do it. Don't think about it. Just do the right thing. And many people don't do that. They'll take more freaking time to get their phone out to videotape it or record it than they will to actually help some poor woman that's fallen on an escalator. So I think this is great. Let that be a lesson to all of us. Do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. Okay, landlord sued over elevator repairs, agrees to work with tenants. I think this is awesome, and unfortunately, it should never get to the point where a landlord or a building owner is being sued because of housing and civil rights violations. Because I think if we saw more of these types of lawsuits happen, you might see more landlords addressing elevator maintenance as they should, because 9 times out of 10, the issue with elevators not working the way they're supposed to work or being out of service is because the landlord or the building owner doesn't want to pay for the repairs. So apparently the elevator was down for 4 to 6 months while the building... Oh, no, I'm sorry. I don't know how long it was out for, but... Yeah, so they're going to do some repairs and then make some accommodations to those that need the elevator to move in and out of the building, to be moved to areas where they are able to do that. So, yeah, but it shouldn't require that. And I get calls on occasion from accessibility lawyers and firms that are looking for information, looking for advice. Like, is it true that an elevator can take 5 years to repair? And, I was like, I can't really comment on that. I'm not an expert on that elevator, or seems a little long to me, but I don't know. So, it's just one of those things. But when you read an article like this, there's a pretty good chance that the contractor doesn't want to hang the landlord or the building owner out to dry because they are a customer. And also and the landlord doesn't want to spend the money. And the truth really doesn't get out there. So it takes an investigative reporter to do something that is, that needs to be taken care of. So anyway. So, yeah, as I noted before, it's a shorter show, which is kind of nice and to do because I've got a ton of stuff I got to take care of this morning before we even open the doors, which I hope to take, just get a jump on this morning. Unfortunately, have a wake to go to tonight and tomorrow, a funeral for my for an extended family member, and so it's going to be a busy couple of days and weekend. So it just doesn't seem like I get a whole lot of rest lately. So I'm looking to change that at some point, but I think it's going to be a couple months before that actually happens. Anyway, so as always, make sure you're safe out there. Be careful of the rapture, and we'll talk to you next Wednesday. Be safe, stay warm, be happy, and do good things because it's the right thing to do. All right, take care, everybody. Talk to you next Wednesday. Bye-bye.